Hello, hello to all the students. Today we are going to start the 11th problem from our chapter holding company. Here is the question. From the balance sheet and information given below, prepare the consolidated balance sheet. And the question says that balance sheet as at 31st of December 2011 of H Limited and S Limited. H Limited is the holding company and S Limited is the subsidiary company. Here says share capital of H Limited is 5 lakh rupees and S Limited is 1 lakh rupees. The share amount is rupees 10 each for H Limited as well as S Limited. Then next liability is profit and loss account, 2 lakhs in H Limited account and 60,000 in S Limited account. Then comes the reserves, 60,000 for H Limited and 30,000 for S Limited. Then it's bills payable. Bills payable are there only in the account of S Limited. Then comes the creditors in both the accounts in both the companies, that is 1,10,000 for H Limited and 60,000 for S Limited. Then come on the asset side. There are fixed assets for H Limited 4 lakh rupees and S Limited 60,000. Then stocks, in stock H Limited is having 3 lakhs and S Limited is having 1,20,000 of stock. Then comes the debtors, 75,000 H Limited, 85,000 S Limited. Bills receivable only H Limited is having 20,000. Here we can see that on liability side, bills payable are in account of S Limited. That means S Limited has to pay 15,000, and when comes to the asset side, it's showing as a bill receivable of 20,000. That means S Limited has to pay the bills to H Limited, which should be received by H Limited. So out of this 20,000 which H Limited has to receive, 15,000 has to be received from the S Limited. So it is an intercompany owing. As usual, the intercompany owing will not be considered for receiving. So out of this 20,000 we will be deducting this 15,000 in the solution. Okay. Then comes the share in S Limited. That means H Limited acquired the S Limited and purchased the 7,500 at cost. Here we can see share of S Limited are 1 lakh at the rate of rupees 10 each. That means if we deduct it, S Limited is having 10,000 shares. Out of that, 7,500 shares were purchased or acquired by H Limited for 75,000 at a cost of at this cost only, with no any extra amount. Then we have given with some additional information that says the bills accepted by S Limited are all in favor of H Limited. The sentence what we discussed just now, it was the same. That means whatever the bills has to be paid by S Limited, all are in favor of H Limited. That means all this 15,000 has to be paid to the H Limited only. Then comes the next statement, and it says the stock of H Limited includes 25,000 brought from S Limited. Stock of H Limited, out of this 3 lakh, 25,000 has been brought from the S Limited, that means subsidiary company, at a profit to later means the company which named later afterwards. So S Limited is named afterwards. So the stock of H Limited 3 lakhs includes the stock of 25,000 purchased from S Limited, and this stock was sold on 20% profit. Okay. Then all the profit, as we know that intercompany owing is not allowed, that means we will be deducting the intercompany owing. We will do the some working notes here. Then the third statement says all the profit of S Limited has been earned since the shares were acquired by H Limited. What it is saying, all the profit of S Limited. What is the profit of S Limited? It is 60,000. This 60,000 has been earned since the shares were acquired by the H Limited. That means after the H Limited acquired the S Limited, then only this 60,000 has been earned. Profit has been earned by the S Limited. But there was already the reserve of 30,000. Here is the reserve of 30,000, that is before the acquisition period. So what we have to do, we have to prepare a consolidated balance sheet with the given information. Hope each and every statement is clear to you all. Now we will start with preparing a consolidated balance sheet. This is the 11th question which we are solving now. We will be writing consolidated balance sheet of H Limited and S Limited as on 31st of December 2011. Okay, here we will write a liabilities amount, assets amount. Now we will start with the liability side. With the help of the given balance sheet, we will prepare our consolidated balance sheet. Along with that, we will do the working notes in continuation. The first item which appears here will be a share capital. As we all know that we have to take only the share capital of acquiring company only. So shares of rupees 10 each. What is the amount of share capital for H Limited? It's 5 lakh rupees. Then we will be writing the profit of H Limited. Profit and loss account, and the amount is 2 lakhs. Then next comes the reserves. Reserve for H Limited is 60,000. We will be taking all these things as it is, okay, because there are acquisition, the company which acquires the other company will be having the same share capital, profit and loss account and reserve, because they are not shared by anybody else, but the company which has been acquired will be sharing its profits and reserves with the holding company. Okay, then next we have to write the here we will be writing H Limited, again H Limited. Now we have to write the profit and loss account of S Limited, which we need to calculate now. Then we will be writing the reserve for S Limited, that also we will be calculating in our working notes. Here comes our working notes. Our first working note will be about, as usual, capital profit. As we all know, the capital profit will be calculated for pre-acquisition period. Okay, here when we see H Limited is taking over everything from the S Limited, and that is pre-acquisition, they are taking this share. So first item which appear here will be the reserve, general reserve or reserve, which is given as 30,000, Then when we come here in the question, it is mentioned that the profit we would have taken profit here, but we are not taking. Why we are not taking? Because everything that means the whole profit which is earned during the year was acquired, or which is earned only after the acquisition period. So here pre-acquisition period we have only 30,000 in reserve. It is mentioned here that there was already the reserve of 30,000 on the date of acquisition. So here is the 30,000, and we have to know what is the percentage of H Limited in S Limited. How we will come to know? We will be finding out here that S Limited was having total number of shares as 10,000 out of which H Limited has taken over 7,500, and minority interest was left over with the 2,500. So here out of this 100%, H Limited has taken over 75%, and minority interest is having only 25% of share in the share capital of a company. Okay, then out of this 30,000, again the company has so here While calculating the capital profit, the reserve is 30,000 of S Limited, and in that 75% has been the share. 75% share is of a H Limited. So out of this 30,000, we have to calculate. Here it is. This 30,000, 75% is the share of H Limited, which comes to 22,500. Next item what we will add here is usually profit during the year. Here comes a nil. Why? Because it is mentioned here that S Limited does not have its own profit before the acquisition period, as we are calculating the capital reserve, which is related to pre-acquisition period only. So here it is mentioned that S Limited has been earned, all the profit of S Limited has been earned since the shares were acquired. That means after acquisition only the profit has been earned by the S Limited. Remaining profit has been, there is no profit for the pre-acquisition period, so we are writing here as a nil. So capital profit is 22,500. Our next working note will be calculation of goodwill or capital reserve. Calculation of goodwill or capital reserve. The first item that appears here in our calculation of goodwill of capital reserve is amount paid to acquire shares. What is the amount paid by H Limited to acquire the share? It is 75,000. It is at cost. So we will be writing here 75,000. Then after that we will be deducting the face value of acquired shares. Now under this we will be having some subheadings, that is share amount at the rate of rupees 10 each. That means 7,500 shares at the rate of rupees 10. Here comes a 75,000. Then again we will add one more thing here, that is the capital profit. And just now we have calculated the capital profit and we got a 22,500. Now we will total it up and we will get here as 97,500. Okay, we have received the we found the face value of the acquired shares is 97,500. Now here we need to apply again the some rules which we have learned in the previous problems also, that when paid up capital is greater than the paid up amount is greater than the face value, we will be reaching the goodwill. If paid up amount is lesser than the face value, we will be reaching the capital reserve. So here amount paid to acquired share, amount paid is lesser than the face value. Face value is 97,500 and amount paid is 75,000. That means the actual value of the share is 97,500, but H Limited paid only 75,000. That is, amount paid is lesser than the face value. So we are reaching here the capital reserve. We got an amount as capital reserve. When we deduct this 75,000 from this 97,500, we will be again getting 22,500, our capital reserve. Next, our third working note will be calculation of revenue profit. That means post acquisition profit. Revenue profit is the post acquisition profit. Here in this the whole 60,000 profit of S Limited has been earned after the acquisition only. Okay, so out of the 60,000, the share of H Limited is 75%, as we have seen here. Out of the total share capital, percentage of H Limited is 100%. So after acquiring, H Limited share is 75%, and minorities interest percentage of share is 25%. So out of this 60,000 profit, 75% has been a share of H Limited. So 60,000 into 75,000, we will be getting here 45,000 revenue profit. Okay, then one more item which we are calculating here is a unrealized profit. This is the new term which we are seeing in this problem, unrealized profit. How we came to know about it? That here in the question, second statement says the stock of H Limited, 3 lakh rupees, includes 25,000 brought from the S Limited. In this, we are including a stock of 25,000 which we have purchased from S Limited at a profit of later of 20% on sale. That means on this 25,000, S Limited has earned 20% of profit. So as it is an intercompany owing, we cannot allow anybody to earn profit. It might be H Limited or S Limited. So we will be deducting this 20% profit on the goods sold to H Limited from the S Limited. So this is called as unrealized because they are not earning. So that will be termed as unrealized profit. So the amount of stock sold is 25,000, on which 20% profit has been earned by S Limited, that is 5,000. 20% means rupees 5,000 is the profit earned by the S Limited on this stock. Now out of this 50,000, the whole loss cannot be paid by H Limited. There is some part of it has to be paid by the minority interest also. So 5,000 into 75% of H Limited comes here. 5,000 into 75%, and the amount of unrealized profit in respect of share for the H Limited is 3,750 rupees. Okay, this is the unrealized profit for H Limited. Here we will be calculating net P&L account, that means P&L account for H Limited in respect of revenue profit. Okay, how much, what is the amount of revenue profit that H Limited earned? Revenue profit H Limited earned is 45,000. Out of this, we will be deducting the unrealized profit, that is 3,750. Here it is 45,000 minus 3,750. Here the net revenue profit earned by H Limited is 41,250. This is the final amount of a net revenue profit. Then the last working note will be of minority interest. As usual, first item that appears here will be a share capital. What is the shares left for the minority interest? It's 2,500. So here 2,500 at the rate of rupees 10, it will come to 25,000. The next item what we will be adding here is a capital profit. The capital profit was here. In capital profit, we had only one item, that is 30,000, out of a 75% belongs to the H Limited, and out of this 30,000 only, remaining 25% belongs to the minority interest. So here Out of this 30,000 only 25% belongs to minority interest, and 30,000 into 25% we will be getting here 7,500. Then we have revenue profit of 60,000. Revenue profit after acquisition. What we have in revenue profit? We have only profit which is earned after acquisition, that is and that amounts only 60,000, and out of this 75% belongs to H Limited, and out of this 60,000 25% belongs to minority interest, and the amount comes to 15,000. Okay, now we have to add it up and you will get your minority interest amount. 25,000 plus 7,500, and the last item is 15,000. Total comes to 47,500. This is the amount of our minority interest. Then we will be posting all these amounts in our balance sheet. Here, profit and loss account for S Limited. Here what we are writing here, profit and loss account of S Limited is 2 lakhs, and when comes to the profit and loss account for S Limited, we have 41,250 rupees. Here it is, revenue, profit, net P&L account amount which we have received. Here, after calculation of revenue profit, we have deducted the unrealized amount, and we got here net profit and loss account for the H Limited, that is 41,250. That is a revenue profit. This is, we can write it as a revenue profit. Revenue profit is 41,250. This is also a share of H Limited from the S Limited. Then comes the reserves, and the reserve amount is 22,500. Why we have got this reserve? Because in while calculating goodwill or general reserve, we have received we have reached the capital reserve amount by following these rule that paid up capital is lesser than the face value. So we have reached the 22,500 capital reserve here. Capital reserve, that is 22,500. Okay, then when we come to the balance sheet, we will see the previous or book last year's balance sheet or individual balance sheet given in the question. Here we have completed with share capital, profit and loss, and reserve. Now the amount, the item which appear here is a bills payable. The amount of bills payable is 15,000 for S Limited. Okay, this should be deducted on the basis of intercompany owing. So there should not be any, and there is no any bills payable here. After that we are having creditors. Creditors of H Limited are 1,10,000 plus S Limited 60,000. Total comes to 1,70,000. And the last item that appears is a minority interest on the liability side. Here is the minority interest amount we have calculated just now. It's 47,500. So we are done with the liability side. Now comes to the asset side. By seeing this balance sheet, we will be preparing a asset side. We have given with the fixed assets, and fixed assets are 4 lakh plus 60,000. 4 lakhs plus 60,000. Total fixed assets are 4,60,000. Then comes the stock, and the value of the stock is, here we will be writing 3 lakh plus 1,20,000, and the value of the stock is 4,20,000 minus, we will be deducting the unrealized profit on this. Unrealized profit, and the amount for unrealized profit is 3,750. We will be deducting that amount here, 3,750. Then we will be getting here 4,16,250. The next item what we have here is the debtors. So debtors are 75,000 plus 85,000, that comes to 1,60,000. Then comes the bills receivable. When we are talking about bills receivable, again we have to see that H company has to receive 20,000 bills receivable, but out of which 15,000 has to be received from S Limited only. So as we have deducted intercompany owing, we will be deducting the same intercompany owing here, 15,000. So H Limited has to receive only 5,000 of the bills receivable. So these are the items. Then the last item is the cost of shares investment, which will not be included here, which cannot be included here. Now we'll be totaling the balance sheet. On the liability side, we are having 5 lakh rupees as share capital. Then we have profit and loss account for holding company, 2 lakh rupees. After that, we are having 60,000 as share reserve, and 41,250 is our revenue profit, and 22,500 is our capital reserve. Then the next item is 1,70,000 of creditors, and the last item is minority interest, that is 47,500, and the total of our balance sheet comes to 10,41,250 rupees. Then when comes to the asset side, we are having fixed assets of 4,60,000. Then the stock cost 1,16,250 plus debtors 1,60,000. The next is 5,000 the bills receivable, and the totals on asset side comes as 10,41,250. Here our balance sheet tallies, and hope you people don't have any doubt in the solution. Please check this out. If you have any doubt, you can post your doubts in the WhatsApp group or in the Google Classroom. Take care, girls. Stay safe. Stay home. Bye.